This is Dr. David Schein, and welcome to Business Law 101. One of the more interesting cases, not that we deliberately focus on cases from Texas, but after all, we are here in Texas, but it is fascinating to me. Texas is a large state, but it is also a state that has some interesting characteristics. Again, we were the home state for the Enron decision, and we are also the home state for the Anna Nicole Smith versus the Howard Marshall family. And this was a national case that attracted a lot of attention. So the starting point was almost like a bad movie. Texas oilman J. Howard Marshall is very elderly. I don't know if he was in a wheelchair then, but shortly after this, he is always shown in a wheelchair. So he's really elderly and not well. And he marries Anna Nicole Smith, who's about 50 years younger than he is. Now, what is Anna Nicole Smith's claim? She was a Playboy bunny. She was the Playboy centerfold. And so that was her big claim to fame, at least why she was famous in her own right. And so this was his late in life trophy wife, I guess you could say. So what happened is that Marshall dies, and since he married her so late in life, he leaves virtually his entire fortune to his adult family. And again, his adult children are almost twice Anna Nicole Smith's age. So, I mean, there's even a dramatic difference in age between her and the heirs of Mr. Marshall, especially his son, who was the one who controlled the estate. So she sues for a bigger piece of the action because she gets a very small amount of money under the lease, under the will rather, Marshall's will. And the case then gets a lot more interesting. She has a baby who is not via Howard Marshall. She has a baby with somebody, a boyfriend. And she then dies because she was kind of what they call a big gal. She then dies from an overdose of diet pills. So we now have a situation where you have an estate that is claiming a very large return, which would be to the benefit of this little baby. And so it makes kind of a compelling case. In any event, Anna Nicole thinks she's going to get a better day out there in California. So she puts the case out there, and then she files a claim in bankruptcy in the federal bankruptcy court. And the ultimate outcome there is that the bankruptcy court doesn't have anything to do with the divorce settlement or the wills. And so ultimately the bankruptcy court bumps the case back to the Texas courts and says it's a Texas family matter or will matter. It's certainly not a dispute that needs to be heard in bankruptcy court. So it's kind of an interesting path. By the way, eventually she does get some funds, and I think there was a problem. Either they didn't have a prenup or they had a defective prenup, and she was able to recover some money. Again, she was already deceased, but there were some monies recovered for the benefit of the child.